Alright, here we're going to do the quads. So Sarah's going to do this in a couple different ways for you guys. So right here you can see this is like what I'd call like the beginner way of doing it. The quads are probably one of the nastiest muscle groups you're going to roll as far as tension goes, and just they always seem to have tension, you know, like whether it's just the way people walk improperly, sit, stand, I mean all the different things we do kind of affects it all the time. So beginner, you want to start with both legs on the roller, and you'll see how Sarah kind of does like a small continuous motion like at first. You know, the quads are going to be very tender, so to sit right on a spot right off the bat might be pretty excruciating. So you can go back and forth, but after a cut, you know, up and back, I would start to really try and seek out those spots and hold. Now real quick, we're gonna, you know, basically she's just demonstrating that, but we're gonna show you the way we progress to and the way we like to roll our quads. Is going to be the a little bit more advanced way, and that's where you'll just position the roller on one leg. Now if you haven't done this before, guys, ease into it. I'm not kidding when I say the quad is pretty painful if you just jump right on it. So here you can see Sarah's kind of easing into it, keeping the one knee down, both her arms down, but you can, whatever your pain tolerance is, feel free to start raising those things up. On the quad, you want to kind of right down the middle, the muscle called the rectus femoris. It basically attaches from your hip to your knee. So it's kind of the one that stands out in the middle, and it's kind of the tallest muscle. It stands up the most. So you want to roll that guy, and you want to act like you're sitting long enough on the top of the roller, up by the hip, to where it kind of softens up, and then you're going to push all the muscles down, like the tissue of the muscles. You're going to push them down like a wall. You're going to kind of like just keep that roller up against that wall of tissue, and then just kind of slowly wait for it to release and then move it down the leg. Once you get down to the knee, I mean, the quads take a while, so feel free to spend your 3 minutes. Sometimes I sit on it for 5 or 6 minutes with doing a little bit of movement like we're doing here. Just always remember to go very, very slow. And when you're done doing the middle, you know, you're just basically gonna kind of rotate your body a little bit so Sarah can drop her hip down to the ground. Now you're going more towards the inner thigh, not quite on the inner thigh. We'll show you how to do that in a different video. And then, you know, she's twisting constantly, but you wouldn't really twist constantly. You twist to what line you're gonna go from the hip to the knee with, and then you basically start at the top, twist to that new line that you're gonna work, and then you just push it down the leg like we were talking about before. Quads are huge. Little explanation wise, just because, you know, if your quads are dominant, then you're going to put a lot of stress on your hips. I mean, the quads really help to like pick the leg up and facilitate movements in the leg. So those little hip flexors are much smaller, and if you have the quad full of tension, then it's really going to make the hip work extra hard to do a lot of things, and that's where it can cause a lot of issues for people in their lower back and their glutes. Ladies and guys, I mean, you know, a lot of people are really getting into building their glutes and stuff these days. So if you're quad dominant and you have so much tension in your quad and your knees and hips aren't functioning properly, then your body is basically going to do the easiest thing it can do to do whatever lift you're doing. So if it doesn't need the hamstrings and the glutes because your quad is so tense and tight, it's really going to take away from your hamstring and glute development. So always remember that when you're training your legs to, you know, make sure you squat and lunge slow so the quad's being used properly, and then break it down with the foam roller and stretch it out. All right, guys, that's it for this one.